What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Cincinnati Reds franchise. We are here and we are sitting at 18-24, and surprisingly, we are not in last place in our division. We're going to start this one off by calling Nick Solak up. He's been batting .318 with 3 homers at the AAA level, and I think it's a good time to bring him up and send a couple of guys down. We're going to send Nick Senzel down. He has not been performing, batting .169 here at the major league level. It's time for him to maybe see a new scenery and see if that could help him out a little bit. And he's got multiple minor league options still left to be used. Austin Hendrick has been batting .319 with 2 homers, a .447 slugging percentage, and an .813 OPS at the AA level. And this is a guy who really wasn't on my radar at first of one of our top prospects, but he has been hitting really well. So we're going to send him up to the AAA level and allow him to get some at-bats there. And we're going to send Alan Serta down to the AA level where he's been struggling. Connor Overton, a relief pitcher here for us. He hasn't been terrible, but we want to try and make room. And what we're going to do is we're going to send him down to the AAA level, and we are going to call up Daniel Norris to the big league squad. We saw him in the last episode, and I think it's kind of important for us to get a left-handed reliever in our bullpen because we've struggled without it. So we're going to pick up where we left off, which was a walk-off loss to the Colorado Rockies. Here we are going to simulate this game right here, and the Rockies come back and walk us off for the second game in a row, 4-3 in both games. And Alexis Diaz has really struggled in that closer role this season. I mean, he couldn't even get an out. As you see, 3 earned, 2 hits allowed, 1 base on balls. He couldn't even get an out, and it's just been a very long and suffering season for him coming out in the closer role. And I feel like even if we put him out there in potentially the 8th inning, or even if it wasn't a save situation, he still gives up way too many runs. Here's another game. We finally win this one. We win at 4-3. So 4-3 in every single game of this Rocky series, but we win the last one. So we lose the series 2-1, but we do ultimately come away with a victory to wrap up the series. Luis Cessa pitched very well for us in this game. And Reaver Sam Martin was placed on waivers for us to bring Daniel Norris up to the big league squad. He was claimed, unfortunately. I know the Reds in real life have high hopes for him. So now we're taking on the Yankees in a series, and we defeat them in Game 1. And we have Game 2 now against the New York Yankees, which is a really good team. I wanted to play them, but I just felt like we need to play some divisional teams because we haven't done it yet this season. So that's what we're going to do in today's episode as well. Is we're going to play against the Cardinals, and we're going to play against the Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals will be player lock games, but we'll be playing against NL Central teams nonetheless. Also want to apologize if it sounds like I'm sick. I just had a sneeze attack right before I sat down and recorded this, so my nose is a little bit runny. So if it sounds like I'm a little bit sick, I apologize. Now, I wanted to look at Felipe Beltran real quick. We're going to move on from this page in a second, but he is still a guy that's got very good hitting potential, and I think if he was available at our pick at number 7, I would still consider taking him, even though he's going to be a little bit rated less than that. But if he was available, I would consider it. Here's Richie Conrath, who plays right field. We're going to go ahead and scout him this week, and then we're going to continue our scouting the positions of center field and starting pitching. From there, after this week, I do want to begin to maybe narrow it down to just scouting specific players in our range of draft picks, because I don't want to have a bunch of people that are 50% scouted. I want players that we're sure on at our selection. So we are going to win the series against the New York Yankees, but we're going to drop the finale 6-0. We did not hit well at all, only 4 hits, and Nick Lodolo struggled. 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Ultimately, he's still having a really good year, but he did struggle in this game. So now we're going to get onto this series against the St. Louis Cardinals. We are home for this series, and we're going to do player lock games with random players pretty much throughout this series. People that have been playing hot, people I want to see more of, and kind of check out how's the squad doing and everything like that. So that's what we're going to get into here. Game 1 of the series versus St. Louis Cardinals, and Graham Ashcraft is on the mound. We are not going to be playing with Graham Ashcraft, but I still wanted to show him as he's going to take the mound of the day. Top 3 score 0-0, and we're going to be watching Jake Fraley in today's game out in left field. A guy who could potentially be traded at the deadline. He's going to start off. Jordan Walker hits this one into left field, and Fraley camps underneath of it for out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd. He's a guy who is in the low 70s of overall, but he can hit right-handed pitching very well, and he adds value to a team if they need somebody who can hit right-handed pitching. So he could be somebody that we look to trade, but I also like what he brings to our squad, and we're not a team that really sucks at the moment. So should we be that quick to kind of move on from him? Here's bottom 3, his first at-bat of the game, and Fraley's going to ground this one over to first base. Goldschmidt having some problems with it, and Fraley is safe at first. A leadoff single. I'm sorry if you could hear my phone there. I'm silencing it as we speak. So Fraley on first here, 1 away now, and TJ Friedo's going to hit this one to short. And what is Fraley doing? He's kind of maybe trying to confuse the double play, but it's not going to matter. Friedo was safe at first, but Fraley retired. So here is Jake Fraley in the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-2 count. He's 1 for 1 on the day. And Fraley's going to pop this one up into left field. Jordan Walker is back there, and he is retired. Top 6 now for Fraley and the Reds. We still lead 1-0, and this one's going to be blooped into left field. Fraley gets to it, and he's going to hold Tommy Edman to a single here on the top of the 6th. We take you bottom 7 now. Runner on second. Score is tied 1-1, 2 away. Jake Fraley is up for his 3rd at-bat. Adam Wainwright still on the mound here through 6 2/3 innings. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Fraley, and Fraley sends this one in the right center, and this one is gone. No doubter for Jake Fraley, and the Cincinnati Reds now have a 3-1 lead in the 7th inning. I may have been speaking a different language on that home run. I hope I got, the point across. Jake Fraley with the game-leading home run. 3-1 we lead now here in the bottom of the 7th, and I got to imagine that's probably it for Adam Wainwright, as they don't have the Viking celebration here in MLB The Show, but we'll do a little bit of celebrating in the dugout. Whenever you face Adam Wainwright, that 73-mile-per-hour scurve, that slider curve, the slurve, whatever you want to call it, sweeping curve, when you get that, you're going to drive it, because I feel like I play with the Reds a lot in the old MLB Show games, and when you face Adam Wainwright, he leaves something hanging just about every game, maybe once a batter. So we are going to go ahead and win Game 1 of this series, and we are going to stay ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals in the NL Central standings here. Big win for us here. Alex Diaz grabs save number 10 on the year. Only 5 hits allowed. Graham Ashcraft was dealing today. Adam Wainwright loses his 5th game of the season. And now we'll move into Game 2 of this series. Nick Solak, we're going to be focusing on today. The guy we just called up from AAA Louisville. And he's batting .273 early on the year. Here's the ground out to third, and Arenado will throw on to Goldschmidt for out number 1. He is leading off here for the Cincinnati Reds team. He's got good speed. I think that him being on the leadoff role is good for him. 1-0 count here to Solak, and he's going to hit this one into right field, but he's got good contact against lefties, but his power is just not all the way there. It's 50, and then when he faces right-handed pitching, he's not really meant to face it. Let's just put it that way. Here we are, bottom 5, runner on second for Solak. We lead 1-0, and Solak's going to have a dribbler out in front of the catcher, and he is safe. Pretty much a glorified bunt. I almost wanted to call it a bunt as I'm commentating it here, but he tried to swing, and he just pretty much dribbled it maybe 10 feet out in front of the plate, and Wilson Contreras really probably could have just ate that one right there. Solak was safe by a split second. Runners on first and third now. Nobody's out. And Jonathan India sends this one in the left field. Solak's trotting like it's gone. And it is. That'll give Cincinnati a 4-0 lead. And Jonathan India has been playing really well to start this season. You'll see as we get on in the episode, but I've really enjoyed having Jonathan India and Tyler Stevenson on this team. They're two guys who, are pretty much the focal points of this team moving forward. These are the two guys that are on the team right now who I would say in 5 years will probably still be on the team. We got to take advantage of these leaders that we have on the squad, at least in the lineup at the moment. Solak's going to pop up a sinker that was right down the middle to Contreras for out number 2. But we still lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. And we have not really seen Solak. Here we're going to see him in the outfield for the first time. He's in center field. Goldschmidt flies out, and that will be out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. Here's Arenado up, and he's going to also hit this one into center. And Solak probably thought this one was deeper at first. That's why he wasn't there. He ends up getting there to retire Nolan Arenado for out number 2, as Luis Cessa is having another really good game. Top 8 now, runners on first and second. TJ Antone now the pitcher for Cincinnati. And Solak makes the play. Bottom 8 now, runners on first and second. Dakota Hudson, the pitcher. Here is Nick Solak, and he's going to hit this one over to Goldschmidt. Can he outrun Hudson? No, he can't, and that's going to end the 8th inning here in Cincinnati. And I was about to say it doesn't matter because we won this game, but we blow another lead. We were up 4-0 going into the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 9th inning, and the Cardinals had to have scored 5 or more. They scored more than 5. 7-4 the final, and Alexis Diaz, I will think about, he had an infinite ERA in this game. He allowed 7 runs in the 9th inning. He had an infinite ERA. And we look at him, he's got B potential. He's 26 years old, 80 overall. He's got really good stats. Where is he going wrong? That's the thing that I continue to wonder. Where is he struggling in his attribute department? What is causing this just pretty much meltdown to start this season? Last year he had 10 saves and 4 blown saves in 63 innings pitched. He has 10 saves this season, which is really good. But in 16 innings pitched, he already has 4 blown saves. So we must wonder, is it the base on balls per 9? Is he walking too many? Because if he were to improve that, I think it would be better. But other than that, everything else is good except for the base on balls per 9 innings, the walk per 9. We really need him to figure it out because we have lost a lot of leads this season. We probably could be a 500 ball club. Regardless, we're going to be checking out Spencer Steer in Game 3 here. Series is tied 1 apiece. As Steer walked in his first at-bat, and he's going to slide into second, but Fraley grounds out anyway, doesn't matter. Top 4 now. St. Louis up 1-0. Runners on the corner with 2 away. Luke Weaver on the mound today. Steer over to his left. Throws on to first, and he is going to retire Brendan Donovan to move us to the bottom of the 4th inning. Spencer Steer, rookie for us here this season, and I think that he's been a really good young bright spot. Him and TJ Friedel are 2 guys I do enjoy playing with as well. Their hitting isn't where you want it to be, but I think that they have the potential to be fun players to play with in the future. Here's Steer here for his 3rd at-bat. Bottom 5, runners on first and second with 2 away. We have a lead, 2-1, so let's keep working with that. As Spencer Steer is going to hit this one in front of Contreras, and he's going to be safe. So it felt like Contreras didn't want to play that 10-foot dribbler in front of him again, so he allowed the pitcher to move to it. I think any way you put it, when you hit a ball like that and you got above average speed, even average speed, that's going to be a base hit. We're talking about 2 base hits of maybe 10 feet here in these 2 games. That's crazy. 2-1, bottom of the 8th, and we still hold the lead. Here's Spencer Steer. He's going to pop this one to Goldschmidt. And Spencer Steer, he made it on base one time in this game, but at the end of the day, he was not able to get a hit. But I do like Spencer Steer. I think that he's been a guy who's going to stay in the lineup, at least for the remainder of this first part of the season, in my eyes, I think. So Alexis Diaz does get the save this time. So he's either going to blow it or I don't know what to say. Hunter Green on the mound for Game 4. Can we win the series? We have a 2-1 lead in it. And here in this last game, we're going to go into a player lock with Joey Votto. We saw Joey Votto in a player lock earlier in the series. But before we talk about that, we are down 8-0 here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. A terrible start for us. Joey Votto's had a terrible start to the season. So this is probably a recipe for disaster. Bottom 2, 2-2 count. And Votto's going to drive this one into right field. Doesn't have enough carry to get out. Yes, it does. Joey Votto with the home run. And we may be down 8-0, but now it's 8-2. And I'm going to say this game isn't over yet. Joey Votto, home run number 6 on the season. He hits that one 372 feet. It sucks because it does feel like Joey Votto is at the end of his time here for us. This is probably his last year. If not, we may pick up the option, and next year would then be his last year more than likely. it does suck because this is a guy who is beloved by all Cincinnati sports fans, and there's a chance he may be gone after this year. Retirement, or maybe we just don't even pick his option up. I couldn't do that, though. 2-0 count, and Votto's going to pop this one up in the infield for out number 3 here in the 4th inning, as the score remains 8-2. Now it's 18-2. Bottom of the 7th. Runner on first base. 3-2 count. A terrible game for the Cincinnati Reds. Votto crushes this one into right field. Going to probably be a double, but it literally does not matter. 111 miles per hour off the bat, though, is really good. Really good game for Joey Votto today. It just felt like nobody else, our pitching didn't want to show up today. What a rocket by Joey Votto. But like I said, it doesn't really matter because this was a terrible showing by our pitching. 18-3 now. Luckily, the Cardinals didn't score 20 in this game. I was waiting for Joey Votto to have an at-bat in the bottom of the 9th, and it showed that we allowed 20 runs. Luckily, we did not. Votto's going to pop this one in the left field. And can we score 16 runs to win the game? No, we cannot. The St. Louis Cardinals are going to defeat us 18-3 to split the series with us here at home. Just a terrible game. The pitching was kind of a bright spot for this squad for a little while. Then now the hitting, I feel like, is starting to pick it up. We have not had a moment this season where they've been working together at all. When you look at the box score here, it's going to show that our earned runs were different than what they actually were. It's going to say that, like, as you see right here, it's going to say Hunter Green only had 2 earned runs, but that is definitely false because we had 1 error. I don't know how you could, I don't know what happens there. So at the end of the day, we allowed 18 runs, and supposedly only 12 of them were earned. Now, maybe I need to catch up on my baseball IQ. If it's a base on ball is a walk, it doesn't count as an earned run. I'll have to, better understand that. So we lose the opening game to the Cubs, 1-10. So now we have been outscored 28-4 in the last 2 games. Lodolo this time struggles, 3 2/3 innings pitched, 6 earned. So it's not been a good last 2 games for us. We were playing pretty decent up to that point, but now we've started to struggle. We're 23-29 now. We're going to be taking on the 25-26 Chicago Cubs, and this one will be a full game against Marcus Stroman, who loves to pick on guys that go to the game and record it on YouTube. Maybe he will have a tweet to say about us after we come to Wrigley Field and potentially win this game. So here is Stroman on the season, 3.17 ERA. He's 5-3 on the year, and he's walked quite a few batters, 23 walks to 33 strikeouts. So we look to take advantage of that, and if you enjoy these uniforms, let me know because I'd like to show them off every 3 or 4 episodes because I enjoy these old school uniforms. Here's Jonathan India to the plate, and he's going to hit this one up the middle for a single here in the top of the 1st. When I'm showing these full games, I think that my plan is to probably show you the top of the 1st and bottom of the first, regardless of what happens. And then from there, we can start getting into the points where big things are happening. Here's Tyler Stevenson, batting .306 on the season so far. And he's going to send this one up the middle. Back-to-back base hits for India and Stevenson. Remember how earlier I was telling you that playing with India and Stevenson became very fun recently. It's because these 2 guys are clearly our best 2 players, and it's not even close. Here's Joey Votto up, and he's going to ground this one over to second. Nico Horner plays it, and Hosmer's there to retire the Cincinnati Reds here in the top of the 1st. Here's Graham Ashcraft on the mound today. He is 2-4 in the season, a 3.52 ERA, and a 1.22 whip. We have a 3-headed monster at the 1, 2, 3 spots in our pitching rotation. If they can all dominate together, this is a team that we probably don't need to focus on starting pitching too much. Luis Sessa and Luke Weaver have really done well to start the season as well. So it's the bullpen and it's the bottom of our order that really need help. So Brennan Davis beats out the infield single. Here's Nico Horner up, 3-2 count to Horner, and he's going down on strikes. Graham Ashcraft putting him away for out number 2. Here is Dansby Swanson, the newest addition for the Cubs, and Kevin Newman showing off his range here in the bottom of the 1st as he's going to throw on to Jason Vossler to retire the Chicago Cubs. Bottom 2 now for the Cubs, and it is Christopher Morel, who is batting .276 this season. He's going to hit this one into right. Will Myers plays it off the wall, and that's going to be a single. So good job by Will Myers to get to that ball quickly and hold Christopher Morel to just a single. 3-2 count now, nobody away. It's Edwin Rios up to the plate, and he's hitting this one in the left center field. Fraley going to try and time the jump, and there's no way you're robbing a home run at Wrigley Field. There's no way it's happened. Edwin Rios, home run number 7. If you watch Mr. Hurricanes, Rockies franchises at all, Edwin Rios kills him when he's playing on the Dodgers. So that's going to give the Cubs a 2-0 lead here in this one. I think that was a bad pitch for sure. I did not expect Edwin Rios to go opposite field on us, though. And bottom 2 now. We stay bottom 2. 2-2 count to Yan Gomes. So 2's everywhere. And Gomes is going to hit this one into center field to Will Benson. And he's just going to let this one drop in front of him. When I was playing this, I swear that I camped underneath the ball. And it probably was my fault, but just very frustrating. It's like if he had... I don't know what happened. Let's just put it that way. He lets the ball drop in front of him, so the inning will continue with just 1 away, and here is Velasquez. He's going to hit this one up the middle. Benson's going to play it, and Benson's going to get this ball into third as quickly as possible, trying to make up for his mistake, but Yan Gomes will not test his arm anyway. Bottom 2, we stay 1 down, and it's Eric Hosmer up to the plate, and Hosmer hits this one into center field. Will Benson's going to play it off the hop, throw it in, and the runner is going to be safe at the plate, and the Chicago Cubs will stretch their lead to 3-0. Eric Hosmer, he is not the hitter he used to be, but he sends this one right back up the middle, and it feels like, we wouldn't have been out of the inning yet, but we're going to bring TJ Friedel in to take over for Will Benson, because the way Will Benson was playing, it was frustrating me. So Graham Ashcraft will eventually get out of the inning, thankfully, without any more damage happening. So now we take you top 3 runners on first and second. It is, guess who? India and Tyler Stevenson with back-to-back walks, and it's Jason Vosser to the plate. And he hits this one into left field, and it's Edwin Rios there to make the play. So I did not want to show you India and Stevenson both walking, but they went back-to-back walks. So they have done pretty much the same thing that the person in front of them did in their 2 plate appearances. Here's Dansby Swanson now, bottom 5, 0-2 count. Graham Ashcraft nearing 100 pitches. And Swanson sends this one in the left field, and it is gone in a hurry. Dansby Swanson with the solo home run number 8 this season, and the Chicago Cubs bullpen is loving it. As now we trail 4-0 in this game, and really now turning into a bad start for Graham Ashcraft. My plan now is, can you put me through 5 innings, and we'll call it a day at that point, because our bullpen is extremely tired. We have maybe 3 guys who can even go today. So Ashcraft will stay in to pitch the remainder of the 5th inning. If he allowed more runs at this point, I was kind of okay with it. I just wanted him to complete 5 innings. That's all that I asked. He's up to 102 pitches now. Cody Bellinger, the hitter now for the Cubs, trying to revive his career this season. And watch out, Jason Vosser makes the play at first base. And it's going to probably sound like my audio is a little bit behind, but Yan Gomes, the hitter now for the Cubs. And Ashcraft's going to stay in. Friedel over to his left to make the play. So Graham Ashcraft will go 5 1/3 innings here for us. We wanted to see, could we push him until he was completely out of energy? After that hit right there, he was out of energy. So we decided to bring on Joel Connell. I think I maybe said the guy's name wrong. Connell. I'm going to say Connell now. So Joel Connell comes on. Vosser makes the play, and that's going to end the 6th inning. So 4-0. We still trail. Jake Fraley, he's 0 for 2 on the day. And really would like to see Fraley get going here. Swanson moving over to his right. Throws on to first, and Fraley showing off the wheels. He's safe at first. So a leadoff base hit for the Cincinnati Reds. I thought for sure Fraley was going to be out by a couple of steps here, but he showed off the speed, that's for sure. And then Swanson maybe underestimated his speed a little bit. He kind of messed around with the ball a little bit. Fraley was safe by a mile. Here's Nick Solak up now. one away. He's 0 for 2 on the day. We just saw him in the player lock games. And he sends this one into left center field. And this one is going to be off the bottom of the wall. Jake Fraley rounding third. The throw in. And he is safe at the plate. The Reds will not be shut out today. 4-1 we trail now. Nick Solak. I said he struggles against right-handed pitching, but he drove this one into left center field. Nice hit for Solak, and here comes David Ross out for a pitching change. He's going to bring on a right-handed pitcher. So Marcus Stroman pitched well up to this point, and then he allowed an infield single and a drive by Nick Solak. So here's Cody Hewer. I'm going to say it's Cody Hewer. Here's TJ Friedel now. 3-2 count. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. And Friedel's going to go down swinging to end the top of the 7th. But Nick Solak keeps us from being shut out. Top 8 now for Cincinnati, and here is Jonathan India. India is going to send this one down the line. And India is going to round 1 and trying to get into second with a leadoff double, and he is in there by a wide margin. A leadoff double for Jonathan India. Surprisingly, only his 4th double on the year. Here's Tyler Stevenson up, 1-2 count. And Stevenson sends this one into deep center field. Doesn't have enough carry to get out. No, it is not going to. But India left early. I accidentally hit the button there. So India did leave second way too early. So I had to send him back. Here's Jason Vossler now. 1 away. 1-1 count to Vossler. And he is going to hit this one into right field. And India is not going to test the arm. He's going to stay at third. So runners on the corner now with 1 away. Another pitching change for the Cubs is going to be Brandon Hughes on the mound. An 3.12 ERA. And here is Joey Votto now. He does not hit lefties good at all. He's 0 for 3 on the day. And he's going to hit this one over to Eric Hosmer to throw in a second. Pulls Dansby Swanson. And Votto's safe at first. Run scores and nobody was out on that play. An error by Eric Hosmer. Now in 3 episodes in a row, we have seen an error by an infielder with a chance to have a double play put the inning away. Here's Jake Fraley now. He hits this one to Swanson. What a play by Swanson onto Horner, and Fraley is safe at first. So that will move runners to the corner now with 2 away. Here's a 3-1 count for Will Myers. He's 1 for 3 on the day. This is a good hitter count, and Myers sends this one up the middle, and that's going to score the 3rd run for the Cincinnati Reds. Is now only 4-3. Now you start thinking, do we want to bring in Lucas Sims to pitch this bottom of the 8th? We got to make sure that this will be a 1-run game. So here's Nick Solak. He's 1 for 3. We've seen him drive one already today. 2-1 count with 2 away. And Solak's going to hit this one into right field. Will he be able to get there? No! It is outstretched. Nick Solak rounded second, and the Cincinnati Reds are going to take the lead. Solak, he's rounded third. He's coming home for the inside the Parker, and he is out at the plate. Nick Solak, if he would not have stopped at first base on the initial realization that it was past the right fielder, he probably would have been safe with an inside the Parker. I wanted to try it because I was like, screw it. You know, Kevin Newman's coming up next. Are we really going to drive in Solak? Probably not. So 5-4. All of a sudden, we're leading in this one. Here is Lucas Sims on the mound now, and he's going to get Brennan Davis swinging. That's going to end the 8th. And it is 5-4. Can we get some insurance here in the 9th inning? All of a sudden, the bats have woken up in the 7th inning. In the 8th inning. Well, they woke up in the 7th inning. The 8th inning was the big inning. Here's Kevin Newman, and he sends this one in the left field. Maybe I was wrong. Kevin Newman with a leadoff single. And can we add some runs here in the 9th inning to help us out a little bit? So now I have had a tongue twister on 2 big plays in this game, unfortunately. Here is Jonathan India to the plate now, and he's going to send this one up the middle. A 3-hit day for Jonathan India. Runners at first and second now with 1 away, and Tyler Stevenson will now be coming up to the plate. He's had himself a good game today, but before we see him, Rowan Wick will now take the mound. Only 5 2/3 inning pitch this season for Wick. Here's Stevenson. Takes the curveball the other way, and this one is hit in the deep right center field, and this is going to score 2 runs at least. And Stevenson will be in the second with a 2-run double to give the Reds a 7-4 lead. That's exactly what you needed in this situation. Now I'm going to go. Did somebody switch my settings? We're still in Hall of Fame. I had to show it because I don't want anybody calling me out on something that doesn't exist. Here's Stuart Fairchild up to the plate now as he was pinch running earlier in the game, and he's going to load the bases up with 1 away. So a serious change of events in this game. The Cubs had led all the way through 7 innings. And in the 8th, we exploded. Here's Jake Fraley up now, and he's going to send this one up the middle. Here's the throw by Bellinger, and Contreras will tag out the runner trying to score. So we get 1 run. Another run potentially was thrown out. 8-4 to lead now. Will Myers up to the plate, and he's going to pop this one up into foul territory. So we hold a 8-4 lead here in the bottom of the 9th. Horner, Swanson, Morel due up next for the Chicago Cubs. And here is Alexis Diaz. He's 11 for 15 on save opportunities. I don't think that is an accurate stat. Here's Horner. He's 0 for 4 on the day. He's going to finish 0 for 5 as Vossler will get over to the bag. 1 away for Cincinnati. Runner on first now. It's Christopher Morel. He's 3 for 4 on the day. He hits this one to Solak. No double play. Solak stays with it. And he'll throw in a Vossler for 2 outs. The Cubs now down to their final out. 2-0 count to Edwin Rios. He's able to go yard at any point. And Solak playing some very good defense down there at third. I mean, he is stopping these balls from being RBIs. Base hit for Rios. But it doesn't matter. 3-2 count to Cody Bellinger. Alexis Diaz gets him missing. And the Cincinnati Reds are going to win this game 8-4. Like I said, through 7 innings, it was 4-1. And then we exploded for 7 runs in the 8th and 9th inning. And Alexis Diaz allowed 2 base runners, but they were hard hit balls. That's the one thing I don't like. Daniel Norris picked up the win for us. I don't even think I showed you a highlight with him. He was in for, I think, 1 batter potentially, 2 batters. We'll see when we look at the box score here. 15 hits. Very good day for us. Yeah, Daniel Norris for 1 out. He pretty much was in there for 1 out. But he picks up the W, and it's crazy. 15 hits, but we had no home runs. Looking at the scouting here, I'm going through it. Jose Feliz, Felipe Campaneris, and Thomas Wolf are all 18-year-old guys who have a chance to have a really good potential and a chance to have really good starting overall. Could any of these guys be generational prospects? That's what we're going to try and figure out. Because if any of these guys end up moving into like the top 5 on our board, they might be my first pick. But it's also going to depend on the situation too. So we end up winning the series against the Cubs. We win it as we take a 4-2 victory on Sunday. And now we start a series against the Red Sox. And we are going to lose the first one and lose the second one. So we get swept by the Red Sox in that little... No, we actually have not been swept. We have a Game 3. I forgot about that. But my plan is for the next episode, as this is going to wrap this one up, is that we will play a game against Milwaukee. I want to get a game with Hunter Green. And then from there, we'll do a little bit more and then wrap it up around the Royals episode. The Royals game. At the end of the Royals series, then we'll probably wrap up that episode. But we're 25-31, a team that has a lot of bright spots, and it really feels like this series is starting to get the ball rolling, and you're becoming familiar with about everybody on the team. So we shouldn't have to wait much longer for the MLB draft. I'm going to play we're going to have 2 episodes in the month of June. So we're going to have an episode that goes through the first half of June and an episode that goes through the second half of June. From there, all of July will be in a live stream on May 1st. So stay tuned for May 1st. Mark it on your calendars. That will be a live stream for the whole month of July. I'm talking All-Star break, MLB draft, trade deadline, maybe some potential call-ups. And that's what we're going to do on May 1st. So we got 2 episodes until that point. 3 if you count this one. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate if you guys left a like, comment, and potentially subscribe. I know that today was a lot better of a day for me as far as commentating goes, but I had a couple of tongue twisters. I'm still trying to figure it out. This is raw content, but if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.